President Cyril Ramaphosa has, in terms of the Constitution, called for a joint sitting of the two houses of Parliament in liaison with the National Assembly Speaker, Ms. Togo Angela Didiza, and the National Council of Provinces Chairperson, Ms. Refilwe Mthweni-Tsipan. The joint sitting serves as a platform for the President to deliver his annual State of the Nation address. The State of the Nation address is an occasion for the President to set out the government's key policy objectives and priorities for the year ahead. The joint sitting is scheduled for Thursday, 12 February 2026 at Cape Town City Hall at 7 p.m. Watch the State of the Nation address live across Parliament's platforms and follow Parliament on social media and join the conversation using hashtag Sona 2026. Your Parliament, your voice, your future.
Mikuwa bale, damigi a platform team, damiga gelwa, damia kondema, da chigege ome, umege chiga kya ungege mi dagami ngi chiga chiga kone kaga okhami hatu a isa kana siyo to saka nakonaga gami ngadagi. So my first performance was in platform team at Valdebeske. Valdebeske is a rock art site. So that side have a rock art painting of our elderly people, forefathers, old people. So that was my first time performing when I was doing the poetry. And afterward, I came back and I was just writing, and then one of my friends from Kimberley outside platform is Cassie. Someone saw opportunity of they're looking for someone who can do a poetry on the UDF 40 years anniversary celebration. So that person asked me if I can try that, and then I give my details to them. And then maybe I think it was like 1 week, and those people call me and ask me if I'm available to attend their celebration, and then I'm available myself to be there. That was the second time I performed. And then after that performing, I think they like the performance that I gave them, so they booked me again. And then I did the other one also at the Kimberley City Hill. And for me, like, I do not know what to say. It's like I'm excited and I'm nervous, and nervous is excitement. So I think I'm the chosen one, because there was also like challenges, because one of my friends, not my friends, is an elderly woman, but we work very close together. So she nominated me, and when those people called both of us to ask who can be nominated to do the praising for president, and then I was thinking about someone, and then when they called her, she nominated me, and those people came back and said, "Congrats, Martha, nominated you to do this." And then I was asking myself, I even asked her, like, what did I do to deserve this? Why did you do this to me? And she said, "No, I trust you, and I believe in you, and I know you can." And then I was like, if that couple of days I was asking myself, I couldn't get it right. I'm like, why did this woman nominated me? So for me to build that state is like a dream come true, because I used to tell my old former boss that I want to be a female president. That's what I told him. When I started to prepare for this performance, I did a little bit of research about the president himself to find maybe more information. And after I did the research, then I started to write. I think that was like on Tuesday night. I started writing last week Tuesday night. And I just wrote a sample thing, and then I went through it and I shared it with someone and asked what do they feel about it. I actually did the right. I wrote two. So I write the first script, and then I couldn't feel the other one, and then I told myself like the first one I'm not feeling it, so I'm not going to use that one. And then I write the second one. So when I wrote the second one, and I take the first one and I compare it with the first one, and then I check both of them, and then this one actually got something that is strong, and then I decided that I'm going with the second one because it had like a good message. So this is how I prepared the poetry for the performance. What I can say is that any young upcoming poet or anyone who might think they can do it, or maybe always dream to do it, they shouldn't stop writing. They should look at the ones that got like recognized by the big line, those people who get an award for it, and they must also try to attend like poetry workshop, because I see FBOB have this thing that they give poetry writers the workshop. They will send you the link to join it online, so you need to submit something and then always join the class. And they shouldn't give up, because like you never know what is tomorrow is holding for you, so you just have to write, because maybe there is someone who's watching and you don't know what you're gonna get, and maybe someone is gonna surprise you with something big and amazing. So all I'm saying to them is they should never stop writing. You can write anything, even if you got it in sitting in the bus traveling somewhere and you get inspiration or something that you can see, because we get our inspiration by a lot of things. You can get your inspiration by the movement of people, or maybe the sound, or maybe anything. You get your inspiration there, and if you see something that bring message in your mind, you should just write a sample thing, and then afterward you can see what you can do about it. Poetry is a big platform where you can also say stories about yourself and others, because you are writing not just for fun, you are writing for things that you are seeing. And I personally, when I started writing, I was writing through my emotional, the thing that I was experiencing at the time. So sometimes you get it, like you, and the word is just gonna pop into your head, what is coming out, and that is the thing that I think they should stick on. And it actually brings a lot of message if you can look deeper than that. It is a storytelling through art, because you are there's children who are watching you, there's people who are looking at you, and some of the other people don't understand, but the ones who knows the thing understand what is the message that you are spreading to the world of through poetry. I actually want to publish a book about the real life in my community. I started, I think maybe many years I've been writing little pieces, but I'm not getting where I want to get. So maybe after this performance, I have to just keep writing, and that is going to be the second big thing that I always want to do. And I want to be the first person publishing a very good book writing by indigenous woman or indigenous person like me in my community. I want to be the first one who do that, because I know in history no one have ever done that. It's only the professor who come and study our culture and study things, and the doctors, professor who come and study our things. They are the ones who's writing books about us. I wanna be the first one from my community doing that in future. And yeah, I have a very big dream of seeing myself in the very big stage, and I believe in that one day it's gonna happen. So maybe this is the start.
The State of the Nation address is a state ceremony. which means the President will take a national salute on a podium outside the National Assembly building, which includes the 21-gun salute and a flypast by the South African Air Force. The 21-gun salute became an international norm for the highest honor a nation rendered and is fired in honor of the head of state. The guns are fired from the company gardens behind the parliamentary precinct. The 21-gun salute will start when the national anthem starts, synchronizing the first shot with the first note of the anthem. The whole salute takes 1 minute and 40 seconds. There are 5-second gaps between the shots. The 21 guns are fired from 4 25-pounders. So gun number 1 will fire 6 shots, and the remaining guns will fire 5. The end of the anthem is marked by a flypast by the South African Air Force, which takes place on the last note of the national anthem. The flypast is meticulously planned to ensure that the planes are flying over Parliament at the correct moment.
I started my journey or my career, because we are professionals. I started in 1996 at the South African Women's College in George. What interested me, I am from Mossel Bay, which is quite a small town, and we all have the background that we are coming from, and I saw it as an opportunity, and I've never looked back since. I grew up from units like the Combat Training Center. I came through the military academy, so I had a very interesting career that the SANDF have given to me, and of which I will forever be thankful for. That's why I can proudly say that with everything in me that I served 30 years and I am ready for my next 10 years in the South African Army or the South African National Defence Force as a whole. The Sona for me, it is one of the first major events on the DoD calendar, where we showcase, who we are and what we can do, and just to let the nation know that they are protected. We are here to serve, and I think that is for me important, or an important message that must go through, or what we all want to give, as to say that they can be well rested. We are here to serve, and I think we did a lot of good also last year. If we look at our successes in border control, that came up very good. Now with the floods in Toyando, I think we are, whenever there is a need, the SANDF is there to serve. So we are having a protection element, which consists out of a reaction force provided by the military police, 13 provost unit, which is also their operational unit. Then we have outer perimeter security, which consists out of 9SI, which is presiding under the South African Army. What the viewers can expect is the street lining, which will start at the Cape of the Castle of Good Hope, and then from there they will move towards the City Hall. The street lining consists out of 4 companies. 2 is from the South African Army, which is the biggest service. Then we have a company of South African Air Force, a company of the South African Navy, as well as a company of the South African Military Health Services. With the street lining, as they will be marching on, they are accompanied by their different bands, which consist out of the South African Army Band, the South African Air Force Band, as well as the South African Military Health Service Band. The South African Navy Band will be staged at the City Hall, where they are entertaining the guests arriving for the State of the Nation address. Once the members are lined up, the military police escort will bring in then the Deputy President up until the City Hall. Once that has been done, the National Guard will then march on with their band up until they form up until in front of the City Hall. Once that has been done, the President will now be escorted in by the military police, and once the President has taken the podium, there will be then a national salute, which will be simultaneous with a 21 gun troop salute, which consists out of South African artillery formation, which have a unit here, the Nelson Mandela Artillery Regiment. They will be then executing the 21 gun salute. Once this has been done, the President will then be escorted with the aide-de-camps, which is from the South African Air Force. That is Colonel Flock as well as Colonel Nelisa.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has, in terms of the Constitution, called for a joint sitting of the two houses of Parliament in liaison with the National Assembly Speaker, Ms. Togo Angela Didiza, and the National Council of Provinces Chairperson, Ms. Refulem Tweni-Tsipan. The joint sitting serves as a platform for the President to deliver his annual State of the Nation address. The State of the Nation address is an occasion for the President to set out the government's key policy objectives and priorities for the year ahead. The joint sitting is scheduled for Thursday, 12 February 2026 at Cape Town City Hall at 7 p.m. Watch the State of the Nation address live across Parliament's platforms and follow Parliament on social media and join the conversation using hashtag Sona 2026. Your Parliament, your voice, your future.
The State of the Nation address is called in terms of Section 42.5 of the Constitution by the President of the Republic. It is a joint sitting of the two houses of Parliament and one of the rare occasions that brings together the three arms of the state under one roof.
This is an occasion of state as well as of Parliament. In South Africa, the great ceremonies of state is the inauguration of the President, is the receiving of a foreign head of state. It is the state funeral of a head of state. It is the swearing in of members of cabinet and the swearing in of members of Parliament. It is the investiture with national orders and the State of the Nation address. Of those ceremonies of the state, there are four where full ceremonial format is usually followed, and that is the inauguration of the President, that is the state opening of Parliament or the State of the Nation address to Parliament, that is the state funeral of a head of state and receiving a foreign head of state.
The full ceremonial format includes full military honors by the South African National Defence Force, a red carpet, a national salute by the Ceremonial Guard, a salute flight by the South African Air Force, the national anthem, and a 21 gun salute.
It's a very good afternoon to you. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Vanessa Stark. I'm the Air Wing Coordinator at Air Force Base Langebaan-Weg, and I'm here in support of the State of the Nation address to assist as a media announcer for the South African Air Force. What you can expect the Air Force's participation in the event, we have a formation of 3 Hawk Mark 120 lead-in fighter aircraft that are going to be performing the salute flight. That means that they will approach the podium where our Commander-in-Chief, the President of the Republic of South Africa, will be positioned, and they will overfly him in a fly-past that is a sign of respect to the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. The aircraft will be coming in from the northeast and departing towards the southwest, and the speed that they're going to be maintaining is approximately 360 knots. So that's pretty fast. That's over 600 kilometers an hour. So everyone must just keep their eyes peeled so that they don't miss it. That fly past is an opportunity for the armed forces to show their respect to the Commander-in-Chief. It is our duty to maintain the sovereignty of our country, and it is our pride, and we serve as volunteers in the South African National Defence Force, and so we're very proud to participate in the State of the Nation address, opening of Parliament in this role. Something that I've noticed throughout my life is how fortunate I am to have had this opportunity. Often I'll speak to people and they'll tell me, oh, it's my dream to be a pilot for the South African Air Force. And then I'm just again grateful that I was given the opportunity. I started off flying civilian aircraft. I would waitress day and night so that I had enough money to fly the aircraft, and every other cent that I earned was spent on buying every single aviation book that I could get my hands on, all the magazines, so that I could learn as much as I possibly could. And then I was successful in my application to the Air Force, so I was delighted about that. And yes, from there I started my military training. It started with basic military training in 2004, and from there I progressed through officer swarming, the time doing ground school, and then also the flying training at Central Flying School Air Force Base Langebaan. And from there I was streamed to become a transport pilot, and now here we are. As the Air Wing Coordinator at Air Force Base Langebaan, I'm involved with running operations. So at Langebaan we've got Central Flying School, where we are training student pilots. Basically, as the pilots come into the Air Force, we are the ones that take them from not knowing what to do around an aircraft, teaching them how to fly. We also train flying instructors there, and that is so that they can then progress into the other lines. Like for instance, the Hawk aircraft that you're going to be seeing in the fly past, those pilots were trained at Central Flying School at Air Force Base Langebaan. Right, for the youngsters, work hard in school. That is the best advice I can give you. Make sure you're focusing on your maths and science. Don't think that you'll leave it until you're in matric and then you'll try and catch up. No, start when you're grade 6, grade 7, early, start at grade 1 even, oh my goodness. So make sure that you're working hard, because it is that work ethic that's going to serve you well. Be disciplined, know what you want and go for it. Educate yourself on what all the requirements are. There's a lot of information out there. So once you've got that knowledge, set goals and work for it.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has, in terms of the Constitution, called for a joint sitting of the two houses of Parliament in liaison with the National Assembly Speaker, Ms. Togo Angela Didiza, and the National Council of Provinces Chairperson, Ms. Refulem Tweni-Tsipan. The joint sitting serves as a platform for the President to deliver his annual State of the Nation address. The State of the Nation address is an occasion for the President to set out the government's key policy objectives and priorities for the year ahead. The joint sitting is scheduled for Thursday, 12 February 2026 at Cape Town City Hall at 7 p.m. Watch the State of the Nation address live across Parliament's platforms and follow Parliament on social media and join the conversation using hashtag Sona 2026. Your Parliament, your voice, your future.
Many of the challenges that we face as students is that, specifically in CPUT, is that we sometimes we kind of feel unempowered, because like the current issue of residences, we applied last year in the middle of the year, but we're getting like responses right now, and even on my side, the status is still on pending, so I had to make other alternative arrangements. There are many people that come here without money. Like literally coming from Limpopo to here, it's a lot of money. You come here, you're broke, you're sleeping outside, and it's tough, because they keep on promising you things, and sometimes even when you do get assistance, the accommodation providers tend to be problematic as well. And I think that's basically the most pressing issue as CPUT students. Yeah, but as a country, currently in Cape Town, I think the crime is the main problem here. But personally, I haven't been exposed to it. But there are people that have been in bad situations. A friend of mine came back from home, and then he literally came to res with no bags, no phone, no bags, and then you literally don't know like how to respond to that. Yeah, and also with employment, there's the unemployment issue is really bad, and most of the time when you do get employment, you're being taken for granted, you know. Yeah, and you're being misused. I think that's the most pressing issues that I have. For the president as the leader of the country, I believe that as the youth, we are the future, you know. So I think he needs to address the issues that are mainly focused, like that are mainly affecting students. Yeah, because, and actually, speaking of students, there's a high number of people with degrees that don't have jobs. So it is really a challenge right now, knowing that as soon as I finish school, I'm not even guaranteed a job, or like the chances are like very low. Yeah, and I think he needs to find a way in which the private sector and the public sector work properly, like they work properly. Like as a country, there needs to be a goal that everyone in the country is achieving. Because I looked at countries like Singapore, whereby, you know, like the goals are continuously being done. When they make a scientific goal, it gets reached because what? It's got the backing of the leaders. Even China, for instance, as much as many might look at China as a bad light, but I like it because as much as there's certain restrictions, it has a purpose, you see. So here there's freedom, but it's basically like the road is like a spaghetti, no direction. It's all just all over the place, no direct goal, and I think many of the young people don't really watch the Sona because, and even like, okay, let me just say this with politicians in particular, because they make promises that they never deliver on. And even when you choose a leader, you're not even sure if what they promised you is gonna be done. You know, as much as I understand that the president has his reasons for some of the things he's doing, I believe he can still find a way. I mean, I'm sure there's other powerful people in the country that control certain sectors that they can do something. There's something they can do.
President